Hello everyone, this is Djuntas, and today I'm just gonna talk a little about Season of Discovery and being a rogue tank. So I think big picture here at the start, if you're interested in tanking, there are probably better options for you. I mean, a prot paladin is probably gonna get very strong. A warrior is always gonna be favored in the community. I also see warlock tanks being kind of fun to try. Fun should probably also be like a part of your consideration, because I do find right now that rogue tank is like pretty much like DPS rogues. There's not that much changes in how you sort of play, but that is the overall picture. And another thing is also just, again, people are min-maxing community and everything, and it can be hard to find raid groups in BFD or whatever as a rogue tank if the community does not like rogue tanks, because they, for whatever reason, believe they are a bad tank, so they rather just get one of the good classes to tank, and so on. But that's sort of the big picture here at the start. Anyways, quickly just gonna say I've been enjoying Season of Discovery. I think playing a rogue also kind of for the first time in vanilla or whatever. I also had like a twink rogue back then. Very long time ago, many years ago, whatever. But yeah, it's been fun being a rogue, and I find that also now the rogues are pretty good at DPS, maybe even comparable to some of the better classes or whatever. That rogues are pretty in demand, and of course we are also gonna always be very good for leveling, at least somewhat. With Vanish we can always get away and whatever. But yeah, also can just quickly show the gear. I don't really have much to say about this one. So Alliance doesn't really get that many gear options compared to Horde, but it's still sort of just the same thing that everyone is getting. 100 with Wars and Goals, so we can get the ring and the amulet. People who are really pumping might even go for Revered or Exalted. I'm not one of those. Had enough PvP for now. But the rep is pretty easy to get if you are considering Wars and Goals. Just join some premates. I ran some flag carries and whatnot. Pretty easy to get spots in Wars and Goals premade, so that's decent. Yeah, there's not much else to say. I'm running with Cruel Barb and Meteor Shard in the offhand. I find that to be some very good pre-raid best weapons, so I just went for those two. Right now I'm just hunting the auction house for better braces and attack power. In general, as a tank, I just want to mention this real fast: don't go for mitigation. You should really just sort of go for threat items. So don't go for off the monkey items or whatever, just stack threat, because the content is so easy. Like in raid, I'm buffed at like 1200 HP and it seems to be plenty enough to survive. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the gear. There's not much to say. I also just wanted to talk a little about macros for rogues. There isn't that much. I'm sure if you're PvPing, you need a lot of macros. But just one thing for tank rogues specifically: you want to macro everything with Riposte. Well, everything, pretty much just Eviscerate and Saber Slash or Sinister Strike. So when Riposte procs, you can just get it used instantly with Saber Slash or whatever. Don't really have any other mandatory macros besides that, but I'm sure there are many ways that you can macro as a rogue for PvP. Also, another thing is, I'm lazy, you can make a macro like this one and then just have them on your abilities, so you can quickly poison or apply your poison, instant poison on your weapons. That's just another thing. But I'm specifically here in 1000 Needles because I was just grinding a little bit. Honestly, now that I'm done gearing, I'm just kind of chilling. Not doing like a whole lot when I'm pre-raid bis, so maybe just not even play that much anymore. But I'm grinding these mobs here just for some gold and having a bit of fun. They're also pretty high level, so I just want to kind of demo a few pulls and whatnot and see what a rogue tank can do. So maybe I can just take like 2 or 3 mobs at a time. And again, rogues are not very good at soloing mobs. Even as a rogue tank, we are not that strong. Like mages are always just gonna win in classic, that's fair, but I can at least do something. And now I forgot to just mention the runes, but I'm using all of the, well, 2 of the tank runes, so Blade Dance and what was the other one? I already forgot. But yeah, the first mob is dead, and let's see about the next one. They're both, what was they, both 26 and 27, so that's pretty low, not too bad for this area, since I think some of them also 29. But again, we are not very strong. Like half my health lost in these two mobs here. I also remember in this belt here, you can get that from a quest also, where you have to go to 1000 Needles, where you are grinding mobs up in this area here. And before I was Private Biz, I was actually struggling to solo a level 29 mob in that place when I was doing the quest. So again, rogues are not very strong for soloing. If you want to just be overpowered, be a mage or a hunter, I think that's pretty much the call. Maybe even a retribution paladin. But let's take a few more things. Maybe we can find some little bit higher ones, like a 28 mob over there. Yeah, I think 28 is the highest in this area. There isn't that many 29s if they even spawn. But let's try that. Maybe we can even take 3 mobs. Let's try. Why not? Now I didn't even get to use Garrot at the start there. The stealth detection is a problem when you're fighting higher mobs as a rogue. You will just kind of be caught if you don't do a successful distract. But let's see if I can do this without using cooldowns. I don't think I can really. But we will see. Yeah, I'll already have to now use evasion. It's unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Again, rogues just can't really solo that much, and I think that it doesn't really matter what spec. We're just not that strong. And now I'm just gonna kill this one off, and then I have to, bandage up, I think. Well, maybe we can travel out. Getting up Blade Dance again. Let's see if I can do it. 3 mobs above my level. That's pretty much the limit for a rogue, even with this gear. I played a mage before in Season of Discovery, just up to like level 45 when I crit at that time. And man, a mage is just so strong, even back then, and now they're even better. But still 3 mobs above my level, without any cooldowns besides evasion at least, but okay. Can also just quickly show the spec. So I'm just going into combat only, and then I do reduce my cooldown on evasion, but you can also take more points into precision if you want that. And then the runes at the end. Yeah, not much else to say. I'm just using, I'm never really gonna use main gouge. I don't think it's gonna be worth it. I can also just mention why a tank rogue would be using Saber Slash, and it's for doing more damage. So at least a rogue tank can do okay damage even while tanking. So that's a benefit for the raid or even just soloing. But yeah, I hope that rogue tanks are gonna get stronger, later on. Maybe even get some AoE somehow. I don't know how Blade Fury or whatever could be good for AoEing later on with a new rune or whatever. Because right now we lack AoE. That's definitely the worst part about being a rogue in general, but especially if you want to tank with one. But I find that the single target threat, and like we get taunt and we get kick, like we have some really good things. So I don't worry about rogue tanks being bad right now, besides what maybe the community thinks. I already like being a rogue tank, and that's what I'm gonna try stick with. And you can always just respec to DPS if you find that to be more fun, or if your raid only wants a DPS. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Again, I enjoy Rogue Tank. I think the potential is good, but we'll see what other runes we might get in the future.